What's going on, Planet S.O.N family? It's your main man, JD. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button for me. This is Drinks with JD. All right, Megan Tower, thank you so much for being here. It's truly an honor to be sitting down with you. Thank you so much. Honestly, this has been my, I guess you could say, you've been my number one guest on my dream sheet, I guess, of guests. So I'm just happy that, you know, we're here together. And
I feel so honored.
Yeah,
wow.
No, well, thank you. Thank you again for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I saw you doing these and I was like, excuse me,
Yeah.
when are you going to interview me? Like,
well,
hello.
I
was there in your early days of acting and production.
Exactly,
so like,
exactly.
I got to get in there and do one of these.
No doubt. Well, since it's our first time sitting down together, can you please introduce yourself to the Planet S.O.N audience? Can you please let them know who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Okay, so I am Megan Tower. I am a business owner here in San Diego. I am bi-coastal. I do have another location in New York. I own Tower Talent, which is an acting and modeling company. And I think that's it. That was all the questions.
No doubt. All right, so let's take it back just so the audience could get to know you a little bit. So where were you born and raised?
Oh, wow. Long Island, New York.
Wow.
And Nassau County, to be specific. So I was about 32 minutes away from Manhattan growing up.
Wow, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. So what was, I guess, the major differences compared to being here in San Diego?
Well, New York obviously is so busy. Long Island is a very, very busy place, highly populated. So San Diego, when I first moved out here 15 years ago, or maybe even over 15 years now, you know, that's why I moved here. It was that laid back feel, surfer's paradise, you know, just rollerblading on the boardwalk. And I was loving and looking for that lifestyle. But, you know, New York always has a piece in you. You can't get away from that, you know, hustle and bustle. So I've always been just a real go-getter, even in, you know, sort of lazy San Diego. But of course, since I've lived here, it has just been built up tenfold. So it's been exciting to watch.
Do you miss the Four Seasons?
I do, but I'm a sun lover. I don't, you know, I like the cold when I go to the cold. I don't like to be cold all the time. So yeah, I like my beachy days in January.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. So where are your parents from?
Gosh, Long Island as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's home. Would you consider that
Yes,
home?
yes. I am the baby of 6 kids.
Wow.
So actually all of my brothers and sisters still live there.
Wow.
And that New York is always where my heart will be, Long Island.
Yeah. Well, I mean, regardless, well, I've been knowing you for like, I want to say like, I think a little bit over 5 years. And I know just, I mean, me for being a Tower Talent alumni, right?
Yes.
I'm just happy that I was able to meet you and just see how you're a pillar in our community, you know, where you're just, you help out many of us and your craft, you dedicate yourself in helping other people achieve their dreams.
Yes.
And that's pretty amazing. But before we dive into that, you know, I guess let's keep getting to know you a little bit.
Sure.
So right now, how you just mentioned you're one of 6, right? Me, I'm also the youngest as well, right? And also I'm the most artistic, right? Compared to my older siblings, right?
Sure.
For yourself, right? Because you know you have a background in performing arts and all this amazing things. Were you the only, I guess you could say, artistic sibling in amongst your siblings?
I would not claim that myself whatsoever. No, my whole family inspired me, and I think it's somewhere in the genetics as well. We've had artists in our family. My sister is a professional musician. She's a professional flautist, which is a professional flute player for all of those people out there who don't know.
Yes.
My brothers and sisters were always in like honors chorus and drama. So I used to go and watch their productions when I was
Wow.
younger, when they were in high school, and they would put
Yes.
on the most magnificent productions of Guys and Dolls
Wow.
and Anything Goes, and you know, they would sing Les Miserables, and it was just so amazing to me.
That's amazing.
Just sort of being a part of it, but I was sort of attached more to my mom and at the hip that
Yes.
I didn't really do as much until I got older. I really got involved in dance.
Ah.
So I was a competitive dancer, became a competitive dancer as I grew older, and but no one really in my family took off with the dancing. That was sort of my thing.
Yes.
And so, like I said, I just took pieces of each one of my siblings. They were amazing athletes. One of my brothers is actually an All-American
Wow.
lacrosse player,
That's so amazing.
3 times over, and he's professionally played lacrosse for a couple teams here in the U.S. So they've always inspired me in those types of ways,
Yes.
and so I sort of just put it all together. I was never necessarily the best dancer or the best singer or the best actress, but I did it all at some point, and then, like I said, just put it all together.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, okay. Now, obviously, you know how you're talking about just overall everything in performing arts, right? Besides, I guess, the performing arts and the business aspect of what you love to do, growing up, did you like to do other things as well?
Well, I was just very creative. I mean, I played softball. My mom didn't have me running ragged in a million activities that people do today, and that's sort of a personal feel that I have as well.
Yes.
I love that the kids are active, and I love that they dabble in everything, but I think, you know, just having more of the comfort of home and your family and like that stable, nurturing aspect that you need, I think is so important too. So, I mean, as far as things that I like to do, I guess just being around other people, you know, going places and just spending time. That's more of what I did growing up.
But for sure, you just knew you just wanted to go into the performing arts.
Entertainment.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger, we were always like following different bands and going into the city and finding out, you know, where they were playing, and I would go to live tapings of TV shows because there was all of that access, and they always give the tickets away for free to the
especially
audience
being in New York,
members.
right? Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh yeah,
That's
so we
awesome.
would go in all the time, and those were just my favorite things to do, was to see like a taping of SNL, or I remember going to the
that's
Rosie
so
O'Donnell
cool.
show, and like all
Wow.
of these things when I was younger, and then I just like knew that I wanted to just be around it. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do.
But you knew that was it.
Yeah.
No, okay. Now, when was the first time that you displayed a piece of art to, like, well, publicly, like whether if it's acting or singing or dancing? What was the first time, like, you actually caught that bug? You were like, yeah, this is mine.
Oh gosh, I don't know. This is a strange question for me. I've never really been asked that before. I can't really say. Like I said, I think it's more of just me going to different live tapings and being around production and seeing other people have success and being like, oh, I want to do that. It looks so fun. I don't want to do a depressing you know, occupation as I get older. I want to make people happy. And that's really where it stemmed from.
Okay. Well, I guess let me keep poking at it.
Yeah,
right?
are you trying to get down to the bottom? This is like a therapy session,
know.
Dave. I didn't know what we were doing here.
All right, so the next question is, when did you know, right, the exact moment, right, that you fell in love with entertainment and performing arts? Like, when was that moment?
Okay.
I keep picking at
All
it.
right. This is going to be a really, like, we're outing me here.
Yes, let's do it.
But anybody who truly knows Megan Tower will know that I was inspired by the group Hanson.
Wow. Okay.
Do you know who they
Yeah,
are?
of course.
Mmmbop,
Yeah,
okay?
of course.
And Hanson, if you see this, I'm still here. I was one of your biggest fans.
All right.
Okay, so
That's awesome.
these guys were like homeschooled. They were my same age.
That's right.
We loved them, me and my girlfriends. And we would like literally chase them all over Manhattan.
Wow.
We were like at every event.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh, they get to be on stage and just do the coolest stuff and travel the world. And like, why are we stuck in high school, like doing this stuff? So it was like, and we would go to tapings at MTV and
Yeah.
like all this fun, cool stuff that they were doing. And so after that, like I said, just sort of getting in there, you're
Yeah.
like, I want to work here.
Yeah.
You know, I want to, you know, do what they're doing. And so for me, like I said, it was more of like I got bitten by the bug by seeing other people
Wow,
do it,
okay.
rather than me being like, oh, I'm this artist and this
Yes.
is what I've wanted to do my whole life, and I just want to sing and dance.
Yeah. But
Like
since
I said,
you saw it in other people, you were like, I want to get some of that shining star on myself as well.
yeah,
Okay,
and I've
okay.
always I always wanted to be like someone on Access Hollywood,
Yes.
or like I never wanted to be like my own actress in front of the camera and
Yeah.
star in a major motion picture or anything like that. It wasn't
Yes.
about that. It was more like being like Nancy O'Dell from, you know, Access Hollywood.
Yes.
And that was kind of like, those people were my inspiration, getting to meet celebrities or getting to be a part of production.
Yes, yes.
And then it just somehow evolved into me helping other people
Yes. Okay,
do
okay.
it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that Hanson story. That's pretty cool.
He got down to the root cause.
I wanted it.
I'm worried about this airing. Okay.
Fair enough. Shout out to Hanson. Shout out to
Yes,
Hanson, right?
yes.
So when you first showed interest in the performing arts and entertainment, was your family encouraging? Like, were they pushing you? Like, go ahead, Megan.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. My family, you know, when I decided that I was going to major in radio, television, and film at
Yes.
college, my family knew that that's like what I've always wanted. I was always super outgoing, and
Yes.
like I said, just always involved myself in, you know, get picked to sing the national anthem
That's
at school.
awesome. That's
or,
amazing.
you know, like I said, the dancing and the performing, and
Yes.
it was just like, oh, who's going to be up on stage, or who's going to be the one presenting or
Yeah,
talking?
yeah.
It's Megan.
That's
so it was
Megan,
like,
that's Megan.
yeah.
That's
So it
amazing.
was just very natural. And my mom was always very encouraging of like, do what you want to do. You know,
Yes.
it wasn't like you had to be a doctor growing up or something. It was always like gave everybody the freedom.
That's amazing. Okay, that's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. So let's talk education, right? Right
Yeah.
now, how you were just mentioning it. I read in your bio that you graduated with a degree in communications, but magna cum laude, right? I love highlighting people's academic achievement, right? When it comes to, let's say, having a high GPA, or having a student really dedicate themselves, it translates into them being, I guess you could say, more dedicated, more motivated to achieve things outside of school, right?
Yeah.
Can you, well, as someone who has been dedicated, and obviously it's shown through your education and through things that you have achieved, what pushes you to strive to, oh, you know what? Let's stay on the education side, I guess first. What pushed you to strive to attain a high GPA?
Yeah, I mean, it was very personally motivated. Again, by the time my mom got to me, it was like, you know, you're on your own,
Yes,
kid, type of
yes.
thing. So being the youngest of 6 kids, you're just sort of fending for yourself and,
That's right.
you know, making lunches for yourself at, you know, 6 years, 7 years old.
Yes.
But so I was always personally motivated to do my homework and very detail oriented to, you know, get good grades. I did used to stress myself out over things, and that's sort of one of my downfalls, I could say, is like I do sort of get tedious about things and like want to make sure everything's, you know, good to go, and so yeah, but yeah, just always had that in me of just wanting to, you know, do a good job. But I could have said, you know, maybe I could even have been higher, but there was always that little wild child
Yeah,
going
of course,
on
of course. That's
in me
humbly
too.
speaking, because I mean, look at how awesome you are. We're like, you know, there's a summa cum laude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, we
so
know
I'm
that.
like, you
but
know, I could have done better, but there were certainly times where,
Megan,
you know.
you're amazing. Okay, just
you.
know that. Just
Thank
know
you.
that you're amazing.
Yeah, I did it. So
Yeah,
at least I
that's
was up
amazing.
in the
Of course,
top
Magna.
tier.
I mean, that's amazing. You know,
Yep.
and congratulations for that, because like I said, you know, for students who achieve, you know, high, or who try to strive to get, you know, that high GPA, they also, like I said, translates to what they do outside of school. So,
Right.
Yeah. And well, since I've been knowing you, you know, you're amazing. So
No,
I mean,
thanks. Yeah, I'm always striving for
Yeah,
something new.
for
I
sure,
can't
for sure.
stay still.
Yeah,
so.
and people who know you, they know that about you.
Yeah.
So earlier you're mentioning TRL, right? And I read in your bio that, well, you got hired with TRL. Can you share on how you got hired, and also just maybe a cool experience that that you experienced while working there?
Yeah, so it started out as more of an internship where, you know, I was with a group of kids that got, you know, hired for the summer to intern with MTV. And so they sort of place you in different projects. You know, they have award shows going on, they have, you know, ongoing video countdown shows, different productions, you know, at MTV that, you know, everyone gets assigned to because they need help. Well, I did well, and you know, people took notice, so I was able to sort of like work my way up in a short time to get to like obviously the best show that everybody wanted to be on.
Of course, I mean it's TRL.
So my skills were really put to the test in this because, again, me just being a people person and just being able to talk to anybody, my role was mostly like sort of getting that crowd excited and asking people off the street like, hey, would you come on today? And like,
I always wanted to be one of those people.
And, you know, we're going to play this game. It's going to be really fun. Like, you should just come on the show. And people would be like, all right, you know, and then they would like sign up and then they would meet us and we'd help bring them up to the studio and prep them and, you know, get them going. So yeah, that was really more of like what my role would, you know, be there, of just sort of prepping for those sketches and getting like audience members and people involved.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you share a cool experience? Like something that like that awed you or wowed you while you were there?
Yeah, I mean,
or
there were some
somebody?
good people. You know, it's when you work in that type of industry, you are not allowed to speak to the talent, you know, the celebrities. If I was obviously like the actual casting director or, you know, maybe somebody that had a real role, they, you know, get a little bit more rubbing shoulders and things like that. But no, you have to you know, stay clear. You're professional, as you know. You work in production. You just gotta, you know, stay on task. But I remember Mariah Carey came in one time and you know, she was like throwing out ice cream to everybody and like it was just like, oh, this is so cool, you know, this is just like, it was just every day. It was like Blink-182 and, you know, just like different people, because now I'm dating myself back, but they are coming back. So
there you go. Yeah, you're right. The new album's coming. Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Well, I guess I gotta throw this out there. Did you ever meet Hanson during that time?
Oh my gosh, no. I have never, not during my days at TRL, but, or, you know, interning, things like that, but I've met them in little ways, you know, throughout many experiences. So it was like multiple times.
Okay. But at least you got to meet him. All right, so there you go.
Yeah. No, my family will tell you that they knew me.
Fair enough.
And my friends, yes.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So after achieving so much, right, and at such a young age, where did the idea for Tower Talent come from? Yeah,
well, actually, it dates back to a franchise called John Robert Powers, if you've ever heard of it. Believe it or not, that was the oldest and running modeling agency. Started in 1932 by John Robert Powers himself, and you know, all the greats trained there. That was when, you know, the old-fashioned women were walking with books on their heads and you know, learning how to pencil in their eyebrows and all of that, you know, those social graces back in the day. And then it evolved into really more of a marketing company for people who started to get involved in the acting and entertainment industry. Well, many years later, it was after college. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with my life? I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do this and I want to do that. And then I actually broke my arm in a snowboarding accident.
Wow. Yeah.
And I was sort of tired of commuting into Manhattan, and I was like, okay, I always knew I wanted to move out to San Diego. So I was sort of like in this transitional period of my life. And all of a sudden I applied to this ad, because back in the day we didn't have, you know, Craigslist or Indeed or anything like that. It was literally like this little ad in a newspaper, and it said like, you know, looking for a fashionable, you know, person to, you know, be a part of our something for the entertainment. And I was like, oh, this sounds like me, you know? So I called, and anyway, it was John Robert Powers. I had never heard of them before. And when they saw my resume and met me, this was the Long Island branch, they were like, oh, wow, like you'd be so great for so many things that we do. And so I got started. I'm like, well, it can't hurt because I'm injured. I'm like, I'll just start this and see where it takes me, you know? And then, as I mentioned, I just kind of like learned the ropes really quick. I learned all the avenues of the business, and it was all about scouting talent. One of the biggest things that I think we're underestimated for, as far as what I'm doing, is I'm a really good person at convincing you to want to achieve your dream, and convincing parents that this is the step that they should take. So sort of learning and getting experience in doing that, and then placing the talent and helping them get agents and introducing them to people, and just all of it wrapped up into one. I just stuck with it ever since. I moved out here, then I started working for the John Robert Powers out here, and then when the 2008 crash happened, the studio was about to close, and I was like, well, what do I need to do to get a hold of it? And we put a deal together, and I took it over. And it was a huge operation at the time, and then a couple years later I rebranded it. Which was
Tower Talent.
To Tower Talent, which was actually in conjunction with our Long Island, New York location, because I did the same thing. The owner was about to give up my old location where I started. He was going to give it up. He sort of was on his next chapter in life, and I was like, all right, let's do it again. So then I took over a second John Robert Powers, but then we rebranded to Tower Talent right around that time. So I was an old franchise owner, but now we have our own company and shaped it the way that we wanted, to shape it, and took all the good and took, learned from the bad.
Yeah, it just became your baby.
Yeah, exactly. And just really shaped it into Tower Talent. And we've been ever since kicking, growing strong.
No doubt. No, I know. I'm a witness to that, because I'm also, like I mentioned, I'm a Tower Talent alumni, and I'm just I'm happy that I was able to be in the classes and everything that you guys offer us. And I mean, I could literally prove that it's that it's amazing.
That you're comfortable on camera, and you love being who you are inside and pursuing your passions. It's great.
Okay. So you know how you mentioned you have Tower Talent Long Island, and there's also obviously that's in New York, and Tower Talent Studio West, which is in San Diego. Why was it important for you to keep both locations?
Well, the whole purpose of the business is to sort of give people the opportunity to be close to the market, but still have a normal lifestyle. So, San Diego, we're not in the heart of LA, but we can still drive up to LA to shoot a commercial.
That's right.
We can drive up for a callback. So you don't have to be like in the thick of it, but we can sort of keep our normal lives and where we live, and be close to our families, and just commute when we need to. And the same thing with Long Island. They're right outside Manhattan, so they can take a train or they can drive, but it's just like an extracurricular activity. They can just keep their normal lives and go to their same school and come home and do their homework and dance practice and football practice, and then just go into the city for an audition when they need to. So I did not want to let those studios go when I took over for those previous owners back in the day, because they were thriving and they had helped so many people, and I was like, there's money to be made, there's people to help succeed, and we're gonna do it. And so I was just bi-coastal for so long, going back and forth, and just helping them grow.
Okay. Now what's Tower Talent's mission statement?
My biggest mission statement is to really just help build the confidence in anybody that we meet. Whether they try this for the first time and they're not sure what to expect, or they've been training their whole life, it's to help them get that extra spark in them, that they feel like they can do anything, and that people are behind them and supporting them and cheering them on, because this really does need that. People will tell you, oh, it's 1 in a million, or you're never going to be able to do it. And it's a very nerve-wracking thing for those who are not in front of the camera, or those who are not on stage, to put yourself out there and be so vulnerable. And so it's like people are always dreaming about it and wanting to do it, and sitting on their bed, and they're like, oh, but it's taking that first step and letting someone know that this is a safe space, and this is where you come to practice and make mistakes, and to trust yourself, and trust scene partners, and work together to create achieve your dreams, and to create art. And there is no really wrong way of doing it. That's the beauty of art and performance. So but a lot of people don't know that. So my goal is just to instill confidence in everybody, and where that takes them is so great, because people apply to, you know, the biggest colleges, or they're starting their own businesses, or, you know, they do make it in Hollywood. It's like these skills you can learn wherever you go.
That's
so
right.
at the end of the day, that's the basis for me, and then everything else is just icing on the cake of introducing them to agents and casting people and networking and all that fun stuff. The mission is really to, you know, give them the empowerment to do it in the first place.
That's right. Okay, so what makes Megan so selfless? Where do you get that fire to help other people achieve their dreams? Where does that come from?
You know, I think it comes from just me always sort of wanting to do it myself and wanting to be a part of the industry, and feeling like I didn't know where to start, or like there was no way my mom would have done this for me as a kid, because she was like so spread thin. And actually my father passed away when I was younger, so my mom was raising us all 6 kids. So I always was like, no, it's like so far-fetched. I never had heard of a place like John Robert Powers, or knew that that's like how you could do it, you know? So as I got older and realized like, wow, people can really start when they're younger, I want to help that. I want to be a part of it and give people the opportunity to start in a way that I didn't have. But of course now I do it in all sorts of different ways. But, you know, that's, I think, what gave me that fire to want to do it.
No doubt. Well, thank you. Thank you for helping a lot of us out. You know, for me, I appreciate who you are, and that selflessness that you carry, and I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. There have been a lot of sacrifices as a business owner. I'm sure any business owner will tell you, you know, there's been so many, you know, ups and downs and all of that.
Well, forgive me interrupting. Well, I guess, how about this? What is one of the biggest challenges of being a woman in business?
Yeah, I know. I think people sort of take that for granted in a way, that there really aren't as many, you know, women business owners. But I try not to think of it that way, because I don't like to use that card. I know it's always like, yeah, women in business, or like champion women, and I'm such a huge woman advocate and all of that. But I also, again, the way that I was raised, you sort of don't have any time for excuses, or if you're this way, or you're a woman, or you're this, or you're that. It's like, no, you got to just get in there and have the grit and the wherewithal to be successful in any field. And being a business owner or an entrepreneur is no different.
Get it. Yeah, no matter what.
You just have to go get it. It doesn't matter, you know, whatever obstacle, because everyone has obstacles, you know. But I think, you know, right now, personally, in the here and the now, the biggest challenge is, you know, I have small children, and I am, you know, really, the way that I want to raise my children is to be there as much as possible. And, you know, so I think, and of course, I would say that the moms typically take on, you know, more of the child care. So it's like balancing, building a business, entrepreneurship, caring about, all of my other clients and their lives and everything, and then wanting to really, you know, nurture my life. I think that balance and that challenge is difficult as a woman business owner.
Well, you make it look so easy.
Oh yeah, you should see my house and everything that needs to get done. And my crazy kids probably walking around with, you know, hair all over the place, painted,
well, like
markers.
I said, I guess that's everybody, but like I said, you know, you just make it look so easy.
Thank you. Yes.
Well, how about this? Okay, since that's a challenge, what's one of the most positive things of being a woman in business? Just, I guess, if you could share something.
Yeah, I mean, the most positive thing is just really getting to see people shine and the smiles on their faces, and, you know, when they come back and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. You know, we wouldn't be here if this didn't happen, or we didn't meet you. And, you know, so I just love connecting people and watching them shine.
That's awesome.
That's just, that's always just the most positive thing.
And you can share so many of those stories, because you have so many successful people who literally came through your doors, and and achieve their dreams. So it's
Yeah,
pretty awesome. No doubt, no
so
doubt.
many
So-
great people.
So how about this? Where do you see Tower Talent in the next 5 years?
Yeah. Well, I really see it going in more of a digital business model, which
Okay.
I've wanted to do for quite some time. You know, all of the in-person coaching that we have. Years ago, we used to have the agents drive down from LA,
Yes.
in from Manhattan, take the trains, see the talent face to face, one by one.
Yes.
People would be waiting in a long line out the door,
That's right,
you know,
that's
to
right.
see it. It would take forever. And, you know, the silver lining in COVID is that we've been able to really cut down on the time that it takes
Yes.
away from being home, you know, driving to the studio
That's
for an
right.
audition, printing out your headshot and resume and waiting, you know, you just log on from your computer.
Yeah.
So we're really transitioning more into continuing what we have now, which is a hybrid where we have, you know, in-person training. We do have in-person auditions, you know, different events in person. However, 50% of it is online because even the agents now are expecting self-tapes
That's
and
right.
online Zoom auditions, and so there is an art now to
Yes,
it.
yes.
So the only way to teach that is the crash course of actually doing
That's
it
right,
from
that's
the
right.
comfort of your home and getting your set up and being professional when you are on these Zoom
That's
meetings
right.
and you're taping yourself and you're sending it in. So there's so much of that going on that
Okay.
we're really transitioning to target people from all over the country, which
Yeah.
has been so cool. We
And
have
that's future overall. That's the future
yeah,
overall
exactly.
goal.
We
Okay.
have San Diego, which is, you know, we've got, you know, boots on the ground,
Yeah.
and that's where we have a stronghold, and the same thing with Long Island.
Yeah.
But now we've been able to target people from all over the country.
Okay. And maybe even over the world.
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah,
that's
we've got
cool.
clients in Puerto Rico
Wow.
and Colorado and, you know, upstate New York, and
Yes,
they're all
yes,
over the
yes.
place, and now they're able to participate in our
Even
auditions.
better.
Yeah, so it's been so cool, but really just moving more in that direction so we
Yes.
can get you know, our products and services just
Wow.
more on
Yeah.
a well-oiled machine.
Of course, no, I can't wait to see it, and I like, you know, how we're just talking about how it's just the 5-year thing, and I just can't wait to see where Tower Talent is 5 years from now. So that's
Yeah,
pretty cool. Okay,
yeah,
so I'm
it'll be fun, and
Very cool.
another thing is like really getting to start more of a booking agency and
Oh, wow.
setting up in another state and starting a booking agency elsewhere, where we can use more of our talent and you know, have an agency attached to it, because in New York and
Los Angeles
and San Diego and LA,
yeah.
you cannot in the state of California and New York. So I've never been able to have my own agency. That's
Wow.
always everyone's biggest question. Why aren't you an agent? You know, can't
Yeah.
you just book a, you know, I'm like, it doesn't work like that in these two states. So
oh wow, okay. So by law. Oh wow, okay.
so
okay.
expanding in the future, and you know, developing our own booking agency and being able to use the talent we already have, but also recruit some really great talent that just needs representation. So we're looking to just, you know, we've got a couple irons in the fire right now.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. That's awesome. Okay, Megan. So in Drinks with JD, we have a segment called "What Would You Bring?" Right? For me, I consider you a San Diegan. You know, yes, obviously you are from New York. However, you spend so much time here and you do so much for the community. I feel like you're a pillar to our in our community. You're a San Diegan,
Yes,
right?
yes, totally.
So the idea, right, of Planet S.O.N, which stands for Planet 619, right? The idea of why I created it is because I wanted to have all the positive things from San Diego in one place, right?
it.
All the positive things.
Yeah.
So as now Drinks with JD alumni, right? You have a chance to bring something with you, right? So we're gonna get you on a ship, right? And we're gonna you know, from here in San Diego, and we're gonna take you to Planet 619, right?
Okay.
Right. So
A rocket ship?
yeah, a rocket ship. You know, that's where we're going. We're going to Planet 619.
All right.
And you can only bring one thing, but that one thing has to benefit everyone else on the planet. So the question is, Megan, you know, on your way to Planet S.O.N, what would you bring?
Oh my gosh, that is such a loaded question.
Yes,
so
yes.
it has to benefit everybody, and it can't be a person.
It has to benefit everyone on the planet.
Okay.
Yeah, one thing from San Diego.
Oh,
Yeah.
one thing from San Diego.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Oh, okay.
One
from
thing
San
from
Diego.
San Diego.
What do I love
Yeah.
so much about San Diego?
It could literally be anything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's probably just such an, you know,
Yeah.
easy answer, I guess, but it is the first thing that comes to mind because it's the thing that I love really the most is just the sun and the, well, I guess if it's only one, I would have to pick like the salt water.
Okay,
but,
okay.
You know,
so like the ocean, the beach.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
okay.
the beach. Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, the salt water is just healing, and it you know, benefits anyone who
That's
touches
what I'm talking
it.
about.
You
Yeah,
know,
okay,
and,
okay.
We are not lacking that here in San Diego.
Okay,
so.
that's right. So I'm sure everyone on Planet S.O.N will all appreciate the fact that you just brought the beach from San Diego.
Yes,
All right.
of course. The sand and the surf.
right.
That's why I moved out here.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about.
So.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So there's little Megans out there, right? Right now, just watching, like, man, Megan's so cool, right? I want to be a businesswoman just like her. I want to go into entertainment, you know, all that stuff. What encouraging words would you have for those little Megans?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, I would just say, and again, I just feel like I'm, you know, maybe just speaking cliche here, but it's just never give up.
Okay.
My whole thing, it's like, you know, things are not going to be perfect. You have to just get started.
Yeah.
And especially for any of my actors getting involved in this industry. You can't have all the cards lined up perfectly to start anything.
That's right.
So getting involved in business, getting involved in the entertainment, it can sometimes just be a mess, you know? But nobody sees that on the back end. Like you said, you're like, oh, you would have no idea, you know, what my house looks like right now, or, you know, what my kids are doing, drawing on themselves and running around screaming. You know, it's like you just kind of put your first, you know, your foot forward, and you just do what you need to do to get it done and to achieve your dreams. So you can't just wait on everything or wait on other people to do it for you. Right? You have to create your own destiny, and I think that's one of the biggest things. It's like, if you're interested in being, you know, on TV or in a production, it's like, start your own production.
That's right.
You know, start learning how to be behind the camera or create your own thing, especially now in today's day, you know, we didn't have this. I mean, when I started, it was a bricks and mortar. We were running radio ads. We were making photocopies before there were Google Docs, you know.
And now we have TikTok. We can show yourself off.
Exactly. You can become a TikTok star in a second. You know, it's like, there's so much easier access to do these things. You, of course, have to do it all the right way and a safe way.
That's right.
But there's no excuse to, you know, give up on your dreams, because you can create it for yourself.
So just go do it.
Yeah, just go do it. Don't waste any time, you know. And I need to hear that for my own advice, but you know, we get so busy and we're juggling 1,000 things, and it's like there's things in my mind I still want to do, and I'm like, why haven't I started that, you know? But I would just say, you know, if they think that they want to become a business owner, and you have to go try it and start setting up the connections and just jump into it. And nobody will ever know.
There you go.
They'll just see you hungry and pursuing your dreams, that everybody, it's like, when they build it, they will come.
There you go.
It always works out that way.
No doubt, no doubt. Okay. Well, I think that was great advice. So, all right, Megan. So after it's all said and done, right, how do you want to be remembered?
I would just like to be remembered as somebody who was positive, even when times were tough.
Yes.
And always tried to, you know, inspire other people to stay positive during those times that they have wanted to give up.
Yes.
And, you know, that I was there, like I said, to nurture people and to inspire them, and to hopefully that, you know, gave them that push to believe in themselves. That's what I would hope for.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
It's not a million cars, it's not a mansion, you know, or whatever I've created. It's just that, you know, oh my gosh, like you said, she inspired me to start my production company. She inspired me to get involved in TV, or, you know, start my own fashion line. You know, I have so many students doing different things, you know, but I feel like it was these first steps of believing in the fact that they could do.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you'll be remembered by so many positive things by so many people. All right, Megan, so where can people right now watching, where can they contact you? Do you want to join Tower Talent right now?
Yeah.
where can they hit you up? You got Instagram and everything.
We got everything.
Okay.
We got it all. It's all a work in progress.
all right,
You know,
all right.
we're doing it in real time.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, towertalent.com.
Yes.
There's a button on the site. They
Yes.
can just click sign up now. They can fill out a little form for us,
Yeah.
and then we will call them at our next open call for our next open call audition. And then what we do is an evaluation where everyone does have to audition for us because we
Yes.
need to meet you. You
course.
can send in 1,000 photos. We have no idea if that's really
Yeah,
even
yeah.
you
Exactly,
or
exactly.
some random person.
Yeah.
So we need to kind of meet you either in person or online or for a Zoom call, kind of get a feel of your personality, do an evaluation, have you do a read for us. So the first step, go to towertalent.com,
That's
fill
right.
out the form, and then we will follow up with you.
Okay.
But of course, you can follow us on Instagram,
Instagram.
Tower Talent Studio West or Tower Talent Long Island, and that's the same for Facebook. Is anybody using Facebook
Right.
anymore? I don't know.
But
We're
just in
still
case,
doing
just in
it.
case,
We're
yeah.
still doing it.
And all your information is right there, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
No doubt,
So
no doubt.
the easiest way, like I said, towertalent.com, you can
.com.
get links to everything
Okay,
from there.
no doubt, no doubt. So before we end this, do you have any shout outs?
Oh, a shout out.
Yeah, anybody.
Oh my gosh, I'll just give a shout out to Monty
There you
and
go, there you go,
Zoe
there
and
you go.
Kat.
Okay,
Yay,
okay,
my
okay.
my little family at home.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Megan, it's truly an honor to sit down with you. Like I said, you know, you're number one on my dream list of guests. I like to end this with the cheers.
Cheers?
Yeah, yeah.
Yay!
So I like to cheers. Thank you so much.
Yes, Planet
And,
S.O.N.
There you go.
Day, go work.